If you've ever been on a high-end install, a big commercial job, or even, a luxury home, you know the nightmare. You're trying to get a perfect 4K signal from a rack to a screen that's ages away.
Yeah.
And maybe half the screens are brand new, the other half, not so much. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a piece of hardware that's built to fix exactly that headache. It's the Blustream PRO-OUT4TL-V2. It's a 4-output HDBaseT Lite CSE board. That's a mouthful.
It is, but it's an important one, and our mission today is to figure out what all that means. You have to remember this isn't a standalone box. It's an output card. It slots into a Blustream Custom Pro Matrix hub.
Ah, okay. So it's part of a bigger system.
Exactly. And it uses advanced HD-based technology. That's really the key here for pushing huge amounts of video data over, standard CK cable.
Okay, so let's break down that performance. When we say high bandwidth, we're talking about the big one, right?
Right.
4K at 60 frames a second with full 4.4.4 color.
That's the one, the full 18 gigabits per second.
And why is that specific spec, the 4K 60 4.4.4? Why is that so tough for most systems to handle?
Well, it's all about color. 4.4.4 means you get zero color compression. So for things like HDR content, you need that absolute accuracy. And that takes a huge amount of data. Plus, you've got HDCP 2.2 copy protection on top of that. What's really amazing here is this board can take that massive signal and just push it reliably up to 40 meters.
40 meters carrying the full 18 GBPs. That is impressive.
It is.
And what if you need to go further, say 70 meters? You're just dropping the resolution at that point.
Exactly right. For a 70-meter run, it supports 1080p. I mean, it's just less data, so the signal can travel further. Simple as that. But what people often forget is the audio. This board handles all known HDMI audio formats. We're talking Dolby Atmos, DTS HD Master Audio, all the immersive stuff.
All down that same single wire.
Yep. All down the same wire.
So this brings up the other big problem. We've solved distance, but what about what I call the incompatibility crisis? When you have a mix of new 4K screens and older 1080p displays, that's the real fight on site.
It is, and that's where the intelligence is sort of baked into this board. It's in two features. First, the Advanced Color Space Conversion, or CSC. That's the clever encoding that fits the 18 GBP signal onto the HDBaseT link. But the real lifesaver for installers is the independent downscaling.
Independent. So on each of the 4 outputs.
On every single one. It can customize the signal for whatever's on the other end.
So it gets one high-quality signal from the matrix, but then it can, tailor it for each individual screen without needing extra converters?
Precisely. Let's say you're feeding it a perfect 4K 4.4.4 source, but output 1 is going to an older 1080p projector. The board sees that and automatically scales the signal down to 1080p at 60 Hz just for that output. Or maybe output 2 is going to a 4K TV that can't quite handle the full color depth.
4.4.4 bandwidth.
Right. So for that TV, the board can convert the signal to 4K at 60 Hz 4.2.0. It just means every single display gets the absolute best picture it can possibly handle, all at the same time.
That must save hours of troubleshooting. Okay, moving to the practical stuff. How easy is this to actually deploy in the field?
Physically, it's very simple. It has these quick release fittings, so the card just snaps right into the Custom Pro Matrix hub. And crucially, it supports power over cable posts.
Meaning no separate power supply at the other end.
Exactly. For compatible receivers like Blustream's HEX70CSRX, the board powers them directly. That cleans up an installation so much.
And I see the price here, about $1,450, is backed by a 5-year warranty. That says a lot about reliability.
It has to be reliable. When you're putting this into critical infrastructure, you can't have it failing.
So to wrap this all up, what this means for you, the person designing or installing a system, is that this one board is built to solve the 2 biggest AV nightmares. First, getting max bandwidth over long distances. Second, making sure every screen, old or new, actually works.
Absolutely. It just handles it. And, if you look at the bigger picture here, this board shows you just how complex it is to manage today's 4K standards. So it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? As new video formats start demanding even more bandwidth, how will the next generation of gear manage those cutting-edge signals while still, having to support the millions of 4K and 1080p screens already out there? That balancing act is only going to get trickier.